Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. A bit of a different video, a bit of a fun video. Geo Gonzo, Geo v Gonzo, David Moyes, Premier League dream team. So if David Moyes had an unlimited budget, what would his dream team be? We've got a couple of rules though. You're only allowed 2 players per club, no Sky Sports top 6, no West Ham, so it's the other 13 Premier League clubs. Any players on loan at those clubs, however, are counted. You're allowed them ones. But anyway, Gonzo, you got your team? You ready?
I've got my team. You text me over all the rules yesterday. Well, oh, this is going to be tough. Particularly, I was already decided that I was having Harry Kane and I was having Bentancur in my team. And then I realised it actually said like Sky Sports top 6, not they've actually finished top 6. So unfortunately, I've had to lose both those fantastic players, but I've managed to find replacements.
Happy days. Right. So we've all got, we're using a 4-2-3-1 formation as well. As we go through it, we want you guys at home to get involved. Give us your David Moyes dream team and also give us your 11 made up of mine and Gonzo's players. Who do you think? So while we have a little argument, who are you thinking? Gio's won that battle. Gonzo's won that one. Let us know in the comments below. Get involved. Right, Gonzo, kick us off. Who's your goalkeeper?
So I should probably say we don't know each other's teams.
No, we don't know each other's teams.
Okay. My goalkeeper is Sarr. Okay. And there's a very good reason for this. I have mild dyslexia and I can spell that one. But I also do think he's a very, very good goalkeeper. In fact, when we play every time, well, it's not every time actually, we tend to pummel him. But every time I've seen him this season, he's really good. I also thought when we played them, it really assured a really good keeper. There was a toss-up between him and the Aston Villa one, who's Martinez. And I got to say, well, there was a couple of reasons why I chose this. Firstly, I wasn't overly impressed when I saw the Villa keeper recently, obviously. I think he might have been the only one that didn't fall over, funnily enough, at the Aston Villa team. But I wanted to pinch another 2 of their players. So in the end, I had to look through and I have gone with Wolverhampton Wanderers Sarr.
I've gone with Jose Sarr as well.
Oh.
So that's an easy pick. There we go. We've got a duplicate. This is good. I was hoping we'd have 1 or 2, not too many, just a couple.
Okay.
So I think his distributions are fantastic. I think the way he gets the ball, goes straight to the edge of the 18-yarder, and he's looking for that long kick down the park immediately. And I think Moyes' sort of ideal way of playing football involves counter-attacking football. But our keeper, Fabianski, at the minute prevents that to some extent. But the annoying thing is when he does do it, he's quite good at it. He's quite accurate with his long kicking. But I think Jose Sarr is another level above that. I think he's one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. I think he's been one of the best signings in the Premier League this season. He's got absolutely everything that you need as a goalkeeper. But the main reason I've selected him is because of his distribution. You know, Wolves have got possibly at time recording second best defence in the Premier League. Now, part of that is due to the fact they play 3 defenders, 3 centre-backs in their formation and stuff, but we just played 3 centre-backs and conceded 3 goals. It's not always easy to play just by throwing numbers in there, but Jose Sarr is one of the biggest reasons that Wolves have got one of the best defences in the Premier League. Now, moving into our defence, who you got at right back?
Well, I've actually decided, because I've got another Wolves player in this team, but it's not the right back. Funnily enough, just thought I'd throw that in there just to see if you've got another Wolves player. I suspect you have, and I suspect I know which other Wolves player you've picked, my friend. So there, let me point the pen at you while I say those words.
Give me your prediction.
Neves. You've chosen Neves, and I know you've chosen Neves. Don't deny it, or don't confirm it either. Leave it till later.
I'm not saying anything.
You don't have to. I know you're salt. However, I've gone with somebody at right back. Who plays for a club that are nowhere near the Midlands or Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's unplayable. This boy is unplayable, unmarkable, unbuyable, probably. You'd think unsellable, but Chelsea still managed to do it. And this boy is Lamptey. I never know if it's Lamptey or Lamptey. If it's Lamptey, certainly likes what?
T-E-Y. Lamptey.
Like a lamp, Lamptey. Well, he certainly does light up and illuminate that right-hand side. Oh, there you go. Really good player. He's my right back.
Yeah, I do. This is actually the position. This is the one position I had about 5 candidates for. I thought,
Sure.
ooh, Tariq
Mm.
Lamptey entered my thoughts, but I thought, I'm not sure about him as a right back. I rate him a lot as a right wing back, but as an out and out right back, I'm not too sure. Livramento Southampton was another player I had down, and I thought, I think Moyes would really like him. And these are attacking fullbacks, of course. But do you know who I went for? And I think you might think this is a good shout.
Semedo,
Kieran Trippier.
good
I
shout.
think Kieran Trippier is a David Moyes right back. Moyes, while he likes his counter attacking, he likes his set pieces. I think when Trippier's gone in there at Newcastle, he's been a leader immediately. He's scored a couple of direct free kicks as well. His crossing is fantastic. I think he's just got everything that David Moyes wants. The only thing that would put him off is his age, if you like. But we're not here to buy him. We're just talking about the David Moyes dream team here. I think Kieran Trippier is David Moyes' dream right back in the Premier League. Defensively solid, offensively really, really good. But set pieces, he's one of the best in the division. So I'm putting him in there. Now, your 2 centre backs, give me one of them. Any one of them.
Well,
I think we've got the same one, by the way.
Yes, yeah. This is a man that doesn't only have one lady's name; he's got 2 ladies' names. It's Sally Sue.
Hey, I've got Sally Sue as well.
Good player, robust. There's just much to admire about him. Says an awful lot. I don't watch a lot of telly on the football. A lot of my judgments are made by when
you don't watch a lot of football on the telly?
So that's it. That's a telly on the football.
Yeah, you shouldn't be watching that when you go to the football.
I'll point a pen at myself for that mistake. I tell you, no. That's what I got. I've actually got a round telly. It's a football shaped, and I do actually watch a telly on a football. My opinions are often based on how a player has played against West Ham, and particularly if you've managed to see them, gone to the game and you've seen them live. I do think you get a slightly different perception of a player. That being said, when you watch them on telly and as an analysis, you'll see things that you won't see live at the game. But everything I've seen of this, I think, monster of a defender. He seems to have so much about him. He ain't bad technically. He's really strong. He's pacey. Seems to be in the right positions. Knows his job really well. Very impressed with him, actually.
Yeah, I completely agree. Left-footed, which is always a bonus in the centre-back positions these days. He's like the left-footed Kurt Zouma. He's just an absolute monster. Not many centre-backs get the better of... not many centre-forwards get the better of him in the Premier League. And I think he's already established himself as one of the top centre-backs in the Premier League. And I'd give it a couple of years. I'd be surprised if he's still at Southampton. If he's still at Southampton in a couple of years, either 2 things have happened. One, Southampton have done fantastically well and started moving up the league quickly. Or 2, he's really just not fulfilled his potential whatsoever. And so Salisu goes in with me as well. So who's your other centre-back? Because I had a couple of candidates for this one. I'll be honest with you. The Wolves ones were, but I ruled them out because of the back 3 thing. I thought, I don't know if I can have Kilman, a left-footed centre-back, playing on the right centre-back here. I debated Wesley Fofana, because I think talent-wise, I think he should be in there. But he's just been injured so much.
He's not played enough, has he?
I know. He's just been injured so much as well. It's one of them. It's put me off. So I went for Gonzo. I went for Webster of Brighton, a ball-playing centre. I think he's one of the most underrated centre-backs in the Premier League. And, he's comfortable with both feet, his right foot and his left foot. I think when he's gone to Brighton, they've not got a bad defence. But I think he's absolutely fantastic. He should be in the England squad. I think he's one of the better English centre-backs in the game at the minute. And if Southgate doesn't include him, I don't know why. I don't know if he is in the England squad at the minute or not, but he should be. But yeah, also a threat going forward in the opposition box. A real tall centre-back, big, strong. He's not the quickest, but I wouldn't say he's the slowest either. So Adam Webster takes that second position for me in my back 4.
Well, I have gone for a Wolves centre-back for this one. And I've actually, it might surprise you, actually, because I've actually gone for Connor Cody. Because actually, the more I've seen of him, the more I've been impressed. And I often look back at the time when Antonio annihilated him. And I think, well, maybe that's not the best way to analyse a player based on that. So I've watched him. And ever since I started hearing what other England players were saying about him. They would go to England duty and say, my goodness, this guy is really good and what a leader he is. And started to look his character more. I started to pay more attention to him, and the more I looked, the more I saw, the more I liked. He's clearly a very, very competent defender. He's pretty damn good on the ball as well, but his leadership qualities are really good. He's a real talker. He seems to be a real character, and you're going to need. You've got a team here. You're going to need characters and you're going to need leaders, and I think he's certainly one. And the more I've looked at him, the more impressed I've been.
Yeah, I can understand that. The quarterback of the Premier League, if you like, him and Van Dijk, I think, are levels above everybody else when it comes to that 50-yard cross-field ball.
And
Left back?
I didn't really know what to do here, so I've sort of... I was close to trying to be a little bit inventive here and move players out of position. I thought, actually, you can't do that. I'll get told off. So I've actually just gone with Dina, but I would prefer it if we could actually just call him Digne, because that's the way it looks like it should sound. So I've gone with Lucas Digne at left back, who doesn't play for Everton anymore, actually. And he's played for Aston Villa, which made it a little bit difficult for me, which is why we didn't get a Johnny Cash on right fullback. I don't think I need to justify this. He's a really, really good player. Delivery is excellent as well. International player. I think they're probably quite lucky to get him. I think Everton are probably bearing him, ruined the day that they sold him, then sacked Benitez anyway. It's one of the most ridiculous transfer strategies I've ever seen. But it's not their only ridiculous transfer strategy, and they may suffer because of it. I guess we'll have to wait and see whether that happens to Everton. Digne is my left back.
This was the easiest one for me. This was like one of the easy names to write down. I've gone for... you said Lucas Digne or Digne is an international. I can say that about my player now, but I couldn't a week ago. And I've gone for Mitchell of Crystal Palace. I think he's a superb left back. I think he's the most David Moyes left back I've ever seen in my life. Someone who's defensively really, really solid. Comes up against the best right backs week in, week out. The best right wings. Doesn't look out of place. Usually wins the battle. Getting forward, he could do a little bit better. He's not the best going forward, but that's okay. I don't think you need to be. I think if you can put in a half-decent cross from fullback, you're right. And bear in mind, we've got Kieran Chip here down the right. I think actually having a slightly more defensive left back, it's not the end of the world. It gives you a bit more balance to the team. I think your Matty Cash suggestion was a really good one, actually. I wish I thought of Matty Cash. I don't know how I've missed Matty Cash out.
Well, you can only have two players per team, so this was the...
But we can't really claim him as David Moyes' dream team, because Moyes had the opportunity to sign him and turned him down. So it's like, well... Clearly not David Moyes' dream team, is it?
Who knows? Yeah,
but Mitchell for me goes at left back. Now moving into midfield, how are you lining up your midfield partnership here? Are you going for?
I'm going to put them in the middle of the pitch too.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah.
In the middle of the pitch, yeah.
Probably the best one. I mean, I was going to suggest they play like left wing back and right wing back.
Yeah, I haven't got any goalkeepers in there. If that's what you're asking, that was my other Aston Villa player, Martinez, in central midfield.
Have you gone for like a defensive midfielder and a box-to-boxer, or
not quite? I think that's a traditional
way.
Not quite box to box, but I do feel if we consider, because you've said 4-2-3-1, if we consider my number 10 gives the blend, I do think my three players complement each other.
Yeah, me too. Actually, have you got the bushy ponytail as your defensive midfielder?
Bushy ponytail?
Calvin Phillips.
Yes, yeah. I thought,
me too.
That's a relatively bushy ponytail. Yeah, I think you have to. I think you have to. I mean, and Didi's an option, but then again, I've got two other Leicester players in the team, so you can't have him there anyway. You've got to have Phillips in there. I actually even had a little look at Joe Linton, but he's not been playing there for long enough, and I would be basing it just on him destroying our midfield. So I didn't go for him. So yes, I have got Phillips in there.
Yeah, it's got to be Phillips, isn't it? Also, if you believe the bid for him, which I'm not sure I do, in all honesty, but I believe there's a bit of interest there from us in the event Declan Rice was to depart, that I think Calvin Phillips would be David Moyes' number one choice. But I think... yeah, Phillips has to go in there. One of the best teams outside the Sky Sports 6. It's hard not to include all of them, so you've got to get some of them in there. Calvin Phillips is there. I think you've given us a bit of a clue. But who's the guy you got next to him?
Tielemans. Again, I don't feel I need to justify this inclusion. He is a top quality player. I think he would complement Phillips's energy and tackling and defensive qualities with just this sublime passing, great vision, always finds space on the football pitch, positional awareness, that sort of thing, and would be very much somebody that would be loading the bullets for this very, very exciting front line that I've put together here. I'm sure all of you watching this will agree is the best front line out of the two of us.
I've gone James Ward-Prowse. A bit of a Geo selection as well. But what were you doing that for?
No Neves! I can't believe it.
No Ruben Neves. I've gone James Ward-Prowse. Set pieces as well. Gives 100% every game. It's always available for Southampton. Even when they've got 8 games in a week, he still plays all 8 games. He just doesn't get a rest. He doesn't need a rest. This guy's got energy like there's no tomorrow. So I think that plays a bit of a factor in me. It's got the leadership, but he's also, I think his set pieces, well, he's obviously really good at them. I think he's the best in the league at all round set pieces, not just taking free kicks, but corners as indirect free kicks as well. But I think what it does do, I think it almost takes away a little bit of sort of credit he deserves for his all-round game, because he's one of the best. He's quite good at his tackling, he's tracking back, his positional awareness going forward. He's quite creative, quite good at his passing. Probably should score more goals from long distance, if I'm honest. How you can bend in a free kick like that and then not hit it from 25 yards out in open play. But he's got a lot. He's got everything that you need as a Premier League centre midfielder. And I think next to Calvin Phillips, they'd be pulling string. And you talk about loading the bullets for your front three. I think that's what James Ward-Prowse does. Get him in there, pulling strings. Happy days. Let's call it the number 10 position. I think we might have the same player for this one,
You probably
Who
do.
you got?
Coutinho.
Oh, okay. We don't have the same player.
Oh, we don't have the same player. Well, when he's not falling over, and being marked out the game and not being found inside Declan Rice's pocket, Philippe Coutinho can be found to be a very, very highly talented footballer. I think playing in front of Phillips and Tielemans would be scintillating. Wait until you see who's outside of him, by the way. All the skill in the world, a Brazilian international, intelligence, scores goals, sees the reverse pass, sees a pass that other players maybe don't. I wonder if you've got Maddison now. Anyway, it's Philippe Coutinho. Who else is there?
Conor Gallagher.
Yeah, I know.
The most David Moyes player ever. A goal scoring midfielder. The player, I know he's not a number 10. Of course, people start getting really pickety, saying, well, I'm going to do, technically, you're pushing it here. That's where I would play him. Because when I watch Crystal Palace, if he's in there alongside, say, just Kiate, and they've got Elise Eze and Zaha ahead as well as Mateta, I don't think he's as effective. I think he needs Kiate and Schlupp or Will Hughes behind him. So there's 2 centre midfields behind him. So he can go on his long busting runs. He can play box to box. He can run up the pitch. And if Palace concede possession, he doesn't have to sprint back. He can jog back a little bit and take a bit of a breather. But he's got goals. And we need goals in your teams. Conor Gallagher gives you 8 goals a season from centre midfield, which is incredible. I think he's the most David Moyes player you can get. Works hard, puts in loads of tackles, lots of fouls and yellow cards as well. But you have to accept that. I think you have to accept that if you want him to be the way he is. And I don't think he will suit Chelsea. Conor Gallagher's going to be up for grabs this summer. He's not a Chelsea player. He loses possession too much. He's far too almost erratic, if you like. You can't control him. He's got too much enthusiasm and energy. He's not disciplined enough for Chelsea. So he's going to go somewhere. It probably will be back to Crystal Palace. They're going to have to spend big bucks to get him. But this summer, if there's one player I could take to West Ham, it would be Conor Gallagher.
The one.
Probably,
one player you could take to West Ham, it would be him.
Possibly, yeah. I think he can play in this attacking midfielder position. He can play centre midfield if he needs to, but he gives you goals from midfield, which I think is invaluable. Yes, of course, we need a striker to score goals as well, but that striker's out of form. You need your goals from elsewhere, and we're not doing too bad at West Ham. But while Bowen's chipping in with loads at the minute, Ben Rama's got 6. It's not loads. I don't know how much Fanal's has got, maybe 5. Vlasic has got 1, which was, the 4th goal against Watford in a thumping win. It didn't.
It was a lovely
it almost
tap
doesn't
in.
count. It was a lovely tapping. But you need goals. Conor Gallagher gives you goals. Now, moving on to our front three. Where would you like to start? Pick one of your wingers. Give me one of your wingers.
Well, before I do, let me just pick up on something you just said there before anybody says that's not realistic. Just in case anybody is thinking of saying that on anyone's, I would just like to point out the whole thing is make-believe. We're not signing any of these players. Anyway, so sorry. What do you want? What do you want? Give me a position.
Give me your left winger.
Everyone knows who I'm going to pick now. He's Alan Saint Maximum.
Forgot about him.
Because he gives you the maximum. That is Maximum Allens. And he's a Saint as well. What's there not to like? Just the name in itself is good enough to put him in the team. He's unplayable. It's unplayable. There's nothing you can do about this with this team running at you.
You're right. He is unplayable. He's always injured.
You got Lamptey. You're not what are you going to do? You need to put 2 men marking him. You have to put 2 men on Alan St. Maximum. By the time you've got a double mark Coutinho, you haven't even heard who else I've got yet. There's going to be no players left. There's going to be gaps in the opposition defence all over the place. He's unplayable. I did think of putting Zaha there, but he keeps throwing strops and being moody, so he didn't quite get into my team. But I want pace, lots and lots of pace down that side, and to carry the ball, shots, love. Wonderful! Honestly, you will get the crowd off their seats. They wouldn't even need seats in the London Stadium if Alan was in the team. I'll tell you that much, because no one would be sitting down, because they'd all be stood up going, "Ooh."
Yeah, stood up, get out of the way of his shots. You know who I've gone left wing. Everyone knows who I've gone. Harvey Barnes.
Yeah, I thought you
the
would.
Ultimate David Moyes player. I think works hard. Carries a goal threat. He's got a bit of can do assists. I don't think he's the good thing for Leicester is I don't think Harvey Barnes will ever be fancy enough, elegant enough to play for one of the Champions League clubs. He's not good enough to go and do that. But he's almost like the best of the rest. A bit like what Zaha is, I guess. He's always going to be at a club like Leicester for his career. And that's not a bad thing. That means you've had a really, really good career. You're playing your European football. He has. He's won trophies already at Leicester City with the FA Cup last season. But in terms of David Moyes, I think he just ticks all the boxes. He's almost like a right-footed Jared Bowen on the left side of the pitch. Slightly different. Barnes is a bit more direct, knock it past the player and run past him. But in terms of cutting in, taking your shots, scoring goals, Barnes has got that. Bowen's got that. And I think, I think if I'm surprised we haven't been linked to him, to be honest with you. He's the one player I thought David Moyes would spend big bucks on and get him in because he just goes into that left wing position. And while he's fit, he plays. Simple as that, really. Moving on to the right side of the pitch then, where have you gone for? I'll be honest with you, this is the position I've struggled the most with. This is the one who is the last player to go into my team.
Oh, okay. I worked my way down, so the last player was the striker. But I've gone with Elise for this one because I think he's sensational. And sometimes you look at a player and you get jealous that you haven't signed him and annoyed. Even though we were never in for him, I'm annoyed that we weren't ever in for him. I just think he's brilliant. He's got one of those rare players that has all the dribbling talent in the world, but actually then makes the really right decision at the end of it and has the pass as well. I understand how this happens. You know, if you grow up as a player and you're really good at one thing, then you just become really good at that dribbling. But he's almost got the best of both worlds. He's an excellent dribbler, and the delivery at the end of it is excellent, so much so that he will take set plays as well. He's also a really good size as well. He's really physical, but it's like you might look at him and think he's almost too big. But funny, I've a little bit like, I know he's not gone on to have a brilliant career in the end, but Leroy Sané, you'd sometimes look at him and think, hey, maybe he's a bit big for a winger, but no, actually he was really quick feet, really rapid. I think this guy he's probably 6 foot or something, Elise. He's a big guy, really effective, really, really good. He's only getting better. I wish West Ham would have signed him. I'm sure David Moyes probably regrets not signing him, but probably didn't have any scouts back then. But I'll tell you what, if he didn't know who he was before this season, he certainly found out this season.
Yeah, while we've done this, I think I've made a good argument for all my players over your players, but this is the one I'm probably willing to concede, actually. I think Elise is a really good shout. I think he's a sensational talent. Whenever Crystal Palace score a goal now, I expect Elise to be the one that set it up. That's how good he is. I expect it to be probably Mateta that scored at the minute. He's in form. Mateta goal, Elise assist. Gallagher goal, Elise assist. Whoever scored, Elise probably set it up. I've gone for my second post player. I've gone for Pedro Neto because I just think he's one of the best players in the league when he's fit and on form. He's obviously suffered a horrendous injury, been out for a long time, but he's back now. We've not really seen him back. He's physically there, but we've not seen the best of him yet. He's going to have to take a little while, get up to speed. But just 20 years old, I think. What I said about Harvey Barnes does not apply to Neto. Neto will go on and play for a Champions League club, whether that's Wolves or elsewhere. He will go on. He's just a better version of Jared Bowen, to be honest. He's faster than Bowen. He's probably more clinical than Jared Bowen. He's probably better dribbling than Jared Bowen. And I think he would be perfect for Dane Moyes' team. I would have some concerns over his work rate off the ball. Saying that, I've seen games where he does do the dirty work. He does get back. Bowen does trump him off the ball out of possession, though. That's one thing I would say that Bowen's got better than Neto. And he's probably a bit more all-rounded, Jared. Neto's more dynamite, more of a game changer, though. You want somebody to get a goal while he's on the pitch, you've got a chance. You have a chance of scoring. I just think he's a real classy, technically beautiful footballer. He's almost like Lanzini as as a winger for Wolves. Someone with a real joy to watch. I like it. I like watching Wolves when he's playing. You get entertainment. Now that leaves one player, which is the striker. But you know who I'm going to go for. There's only one guy.
I think I do know who you're going to go for.
I kind of talked myself into a couple of weeks ago. Who do you think is going to be?
Oh, not Danny Ings.
No, not Danny Ings. Ollie Watkins.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I did a video a couple of weeks ago saying he's the perfect striker. I can't not put him in. I do still think he is the perfect striker. I know he's not having the best of season at Aston Villa. I don't care. I don't think this is wrong, by the way. I don't think Moyes rates a striker just on his goal scoring record. I'm not saying that he should or shouldn't do that, but that's what
Tell me about it. Moyes is a striker based on whether he's ever been a striker. Never mind his goal scores.
But he's told us, Moyes has said, we don't want someone to just score goals as if it's like a bad thing. Oh, how dare you on this?
We don't want a goalkeeper that just catches the ball.
You're what? You're a striker that scores goals. What else do you do, son? Nothing, mate. I just stand in the box, knocking it in. Yeah, but what else do you do? Nothing. I just score. No, I'm not having that. Get out of here.
We don't want a physio that massages players. We don't want a chairman that hands out money. No, that's not how we do things.
So, Ollie Watkins, I think he's got all David Moyes likes. Yes, he could do with scoring more goals, but if you've got Neto and Barnes to either side, you and Ward, Prowse and Trippier swinging it in, I think you're going to get goals of this team. But I do think he's David Moyes' perfect striker. I stand by that. I think his work rate, the way he runs the channels, the way he's willing to drop deep, I think he's got everything that Moyes looks for in a striker. Fourth quickest player in the Premier League this season, Ollie Watkins, in terms of top recorded speed. Saying that, Rudiger's number one, so it's a bit misleading.
I don't believe. I'm not saying Watkins is slow. I don't believe that. From the first time I ever saw that, and I saw that Theo Walcott was 12th or something. Oh, come on! And this is him in his prime. I don't actually believe that. I'd be interested to hear what Chris Akabusi's got to say. Not about Ollie Watkins, but about the way that they measure speed on a football pitch. I'm not saying he's slow. He is fast.
It can be different though, isn't it? You know, in a flat race, one player might win, but give him a ball at his feet, the other guy might be faster than him and stuff. So it's all relevant, isn't it? But yes, Ollie Watkins for me. I've got a feeling you've not got Ollie Watkins. Well, actually, I know that. You just said I considered him, which means you thought about him and went, nah. No. So who have you gone for?
Well, I do. This is obviously one of the pivotal. I'm going to string this out, obviously. This is one of the pivotal positions in the team. This is your goal scorer. This is really important. So I feel that pedigree is important in this position. I think it's important. Now, I know Ollie Watkins has played at the international level, but not in games that matter, you would say. I know Ollie Watkins has... he's obviously played for some clubs that are doing okay, but he's not won medals. So pedigree is really, really important here, and you need to have you want to have scored a lot of goals in your career and played for some big clubs. So I don't think you can look past Danny Welbeck in this one.
Who are you really going for?
Jamie Vardy.
I thought that's who you were teeing up.
Yeah. I had a look. I just couldn't find a better goal scorer than Jamie Vardy. Bearing in mind, I did, and I wasn't just. I know I do like to have a little bit of fun at Tottenham's expense, but that thing I said at the start, I hadn't actually. I did think when you put it down, I did think you top 6 last season sort of thing, and not West Ham. So I had put Kane and Bentancur in there. I thought, oh no, I've got to take him out. So I was genuinely looking for a better goal scorer. And the more I looked, and then I thought, oh no, Vardy. I thought he's too old. Actually, I'm actually signing him. This is a make-believe game. I'm not looking to sign this guy and sell him in 3 years' time. To whatever to fund the rest of my life. No, this is not. This is a pretend game. And I just looked, and the more I looked, actually, there's not a better goal scorer than Jamie Vardy. I'm aware he might be slower next season, but actually, at the moment, he's still quick and he's still scoring goals. We're not bothered about injuries because we're pretending that they're not injured. There's some injury-prone players in here for both teams. And also, I've got to be honest, you've said on a number of occasions, Geo, that this would be David Moyes' dream one. I don't think I've read the memo fully because clearly I appreciate that my team is not what David Moyes would like, and your team is more Moyes-esque. Some might say more moist than mine. That being said, I think if you put the two teams together, my team whoops your team. I mean, every day of the week.
I'm unsure about that. I'll just be going after Lucas Dean at left back and Tariq Lamptey at right back. You've got two players there who they're not. Lamptey's not fullback. I'm just going down there. I'm exposing his lack of positional awareness.
Defending. What you're doing is you're defending because you've got Elisa and Lamptey going at you. You haven't got a chance to get forwards. You just haven't got a chance.
Anyway, to throw a curveball at you, if you had to take out one of your players and put in a West Ham player, who would you put in from West Ham? It's essentially a 50-50, isn't it? Are you taking out Elise and putting in Bowen, or are you taking out Phillips and putting in Declan Rice?
That one. Phillips and Declan, yeah.
Has to be, really, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's a good team. Be interesting to see how that... See, the funny thing is, this is what Chelsea did when Roman first took over. They went and got...
Newcastle are going to try and do this summer.
You know, Damien Duff and Joe Cole and so on and so forth. They went and cherry-picked everyone's best players, didn't they? So, yeah, I mean, we'll say, well, Newcastle they're not mathematically safe yet.
But this is what Newcastle will be trying to do this summer. I think Newcastle will be trying to build like a... Well, they're already 11th on their way there according to our team because I've got Trippier and you've got St. Maximin. Happy days, there we go. We'll put them in, sorted. But I think this is what Newcastle will try and do. They'll be going around the clubs, looking at their best players, thinking, let's try and buy all these ones and put them together and create like a Premier League dream team. So anyway, there you go. There's our David Moyes' dream team. Let us know in the comments below which of the players from our two teams you would pick to create the ultimate team between us, as well as your own one as well. Get involved in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, drop a like on it. Something a little bit different, a little bit fun, a little bit make-believe, which is important before someone says unrealistic. That's the point.
West Ham would never be outside Tillerman's. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, it is unrealistic. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Myself and Gonzo. Catch you in a bit.